Fans collectively mourning on social media. Christian radio station K-Love posting, "Her kindness was epic, her smile electric, her voice massive, but it was no match for the size of her heart." She spoke openly about her struggles with weight loss and depression, speaking to GMA3 in 2022.
And let's be honest, that is not fun stuff to talk about. So I didn't necessarily enjoy it, but I know that I needed it.
Her representatives confirming she was found in her home deceased, with no details yet on the cause of death. Mandisa was 47 years old.
Now we actually know what the cause of death is for the singer, and I want to talk about that today. This girl a mess, y'all. Hi guys, welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you've been around here a while. I'm Kendra. This is Kendra Creates. This is my space where I share my life with you guys. I also talk about things on the internet, and today is one of those days. So if that stuff sounds good to you, then make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Also, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up while you are at it. So today I'm going to be talking about something very morbid, very sober. So if you're not in the headspace to hear about that stuff, then please join me on my next video, or you can always binge watch me on several playlists I have. And also, I got a mic. So I hope this helps audio, because people have been talking about my audio. Y'all hate my audio. So hopefully this helps. And depending upon where I record it, sometimes my audio is a little bit different. So hopefully my mic helps with any audio issues that I might have experienced. And also, I record randomly and out of order. So a couple of videos I recorded do not have my mic, but just please give me a little bit feedback on this mic, and hopefully you guys can hear me a bit more clearly. So if you guys have not heard, Grammy Award winning artist Mandisa, that was previously on American Idol, had passed away several months ago. And it was recently reported on what her cause of death is. So I accessed a little article or whatever, and I want to talk about that article kind of piece by piece. And we can get into just talking about these different issues. And this is in no way to shame her or shame anyone or disrespect her or disrespect her passing or her legacy or any of that. It is just to bring awareness, as I try to do with all my videos, on real life issues that people face with their lives when they are obese, heavy, or overweight, and also kind of where you can change the things that are going on with yourself so that you can lead a more productive, healthier life that is worth living. So we're going to get into that article. Grammy Award winning gospel singer Mandisa died of complications of Class III obesity, according to her autopsy. The star, who rose to fame on season 5 of American Idol, was found dead in her home in Franklin near Nashville, Tennessee on April 18th. She was 47. Her cause of death was listed as natural, the Nashville Medical Examiner's Office told NBC News Wednesday. So when I first heard about her passing, I thought that was wild, because 47 is relatively young to pass away. And honestly, and I know this sounds cliche, the first thing that I thought of, because I saw her and I saw her size, the first thing I thought of was, oh my goodness, what happened to her? Did she have medical issues? That was my first, thought in my mind. And I know, like I said, that sounds cliche. That sounds but I don't think that people realize how serious obesity and obesity related diseases are. And I think because a lot of people deal with those issues, or they know someone that deals with those issues, they don't give it a second thought. People will think, okay, well, they'll just take, a high blood pressure pill, or they'll take a diabetes medication, or, whatever else, or they'll sleep with their CPAP machine, or whatever else. band-aid that people have for those health issues. And it's great that modern medicine has made the advancements to help people with their diseases as they have them, and they can function a bit better and they can extend their life. But extending your life is great, but we also want to live better quality lives. We want to be able to get around and be active and move around. At least most people do, right? You know, like if you're older, you want to, be active for yourself or your mate or your friends or your family, kids, grandkids, whatever. You want to lead a fulfilling life. That's what we want. Hopefully, So that was honestly the first thing that I thought of in my mind. And I said, dang, well, they have to do the autopsy and all of that. And sometimes, that takes a while for that to come back. And I kind of pushed it out of my mind. And I was like, well, I guess we'll see, in the future. And we did see in the future, and it was class 3 obesity. So let's talk about what that is. It says class 3 obesity is when a person has a body mass index of 40 or higher, or a body mass index of 35 or higher while experiencing obesity-related health conditions, according to the Cleveland Clinic. Class 3 obesity can contribute to the development of several serious health conditions, such as type 2 diabetes and heart disease, the clinic said. So this is where I was. I had class 3 obesity. My BMI was over 40, and while I wasn't experiencing those serious health conditions, once I went on my GLP-1s, when I was at my heaviest, I was experiencing serious health conditions. I did have high blood pressure, and I did have sleep apnea. I was in pain all the time. I was depressed. Depressed caused my heaviness. Heaviness made me depressed. It was a never-ending cycle and loop, right? And as I lost weight, those conditions just went away. But I was still obese. And I wanted to get even smaller because I felt like my performance in fitness, in me being active, in me being where I wanted to be aesthetic wise, would be improved with me being even smaller. And I was still obese. So there was no issue with me being prescribed a GLP-1. And that enabled me to lose an additional large amount of weight. And now I am currently kind of borderline, but I like to say I'm at a normal BMI, something that I've literally never been in my entire life, which is crazy and wild. So when people say obesity kills, it really does. It really does. So it says here, Mandisa has been vocal about her health and weight journey. In 2017, she opened up to Good Morning America about a deep depression she experienced in 2014 and how she almost took her own life following the death of a close friend. In that state, she resorted to emotional eating and isolation. Emotional eating is what I have done my entire life, she said. After losing over 120 pounds, which I talked about my first time here, I gained it all back and 75 more. I sunk into the deepest depression of my life after her friend passed away. She said her friends ultimately intervened and she was able to get help. And this is so many people's stories. They go through something very traumatic and it causes them to emotionally eat. That is their coping mechanism. And then they gain weight. I know a lot of people are so just surprised and so shocked that people are able to gain so much weight, to be so big and so large. But y'all know food tastes good. And when you are at the point where you don't care about your life, because she said that she had ideations, when you don't care about your life, it doesn't matter. You don't care. You are in a place where the only thing that matters is getting your fix. And at that point, like, food is your drug. It is your comfort. It is what is keeping you able to wake up. You look forward to food. You look forward to going to McDonald's and getting your sausage biscuit or your McGriddle or whatever. You look forward to lunch. You look forward to the leftovers that you cooked the night before. And then for a little snack, you'll have something, a little smoothie or whatever. And then you look forward to getting off work and going through the drive-thru and getting something else. That was literally my life. Like, I looked forward to it every day because food tasted so good and it was so comforting for me. And just like her, I lost a large amount of weight. I had got from about 350 to down to about maybe like 215. Yeah. And then I gained it all back and then some, which made me get up to about 387, going through a depressive episode. And this is why I always say the first thing that someone needs to do on a weight loss journey is to get their mind in check. Their mental health, their mindset, their emotional eating, their binge eating, all of these things contribute to overeating. And that ultimately contributes to weight gain and sustaining a large amount of weight on your body. I feel like a lot of people who are overweight and obese have eating issues. They really do. Some people do have medical health issues that contribute to things. But I would say for the most part, most people have issues that they have to deal with that really don't have anything to do with an underlying health condition. It is merely simply getting their eating habits under control. And a lot of that can be attributed to mental health situations. Now let's talk about this weight regain. I know we always hear that statistics from fat acceptance about like 95% of people regain the weight that they lost. Well, I found this article and it's pretty old and I'll link it below, but it talks about 95% regain lost weight, or do they? It says it's a depressing article of faith among the overweight and those who treat them that 95% of people who lost weight regain it, and sometimes more within a few months or years. The statistic has been quoted and widely used over the last 4 decades in congressional hearings, diet books, research papers, and seminars. And it is the reason so many people approach dieting with a sense of hopelessness. But in fact, obesity researchers say no one has any idea how many people can lose weight and keep it off. Now, as researchers try to determine how many people have succeeded, they are also studying the success stories for lessons that might inspire others to try. That 95% figure has become clinical lore, said Dr. Thomas Waden, a professor of psychiatry at the University of Pennsylvania. There is no basis for it, he said, but it's part of the mythology of obesity. Dr. Kelly D. Brownell, the director of the Yale Center for Eating and Weight Disorders, said the number was first suggested in a 1959 clinical study of only 100 people. The finding was reported so often that it came to be regarded as fact, he said. Since then, nearly all studies of weight loss or recidivism have followed patients in formal hospital or university programs because they are the easiest to identify and keep track of. But people who turn to such programs may also be the most difficult cases and may therefore have especially poor success rates. And that is where that statistic comes from. Like, true indeed, a lot of people have issues with losing weight and keeping it off. However, that statistic is so freaking old, and it was from such a small number of people. So how can it be regarded as true, as fact, as something that we sincerely believe? And also, not only that, these are the worst cases because they're being tracked in a clinical setting. So we know that those people have the hardest time with losing weight and keeping it off. And we don't know what was done for them to continue with their maintenance of weight loss. Were they given mental health support? Were they given a formal diet and nutrition education? Do they have support at home? Do they have a gym membership? These are all factors that contribute to someone losing weight and actually keeping it off for the long term. And I kind of, searched around the internet and everything and found that it's more looking like about 80% of people have that problem. Either way, you will never know your success rate until you actually try. And we're not talking about try with fad diets. We are talking about try with well-rounded meals and a continuous exercise regimen. And I hope that people can find the strength to do those things if they are seeking weight loss. Because as you can tell from this dear lady, obesity does kill. And I wish her and her family peace, and may her soul rest in peace. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you on the next one. I appreciate you so much for watching. Bye-bye.